Conflict happens. Let's face it. Conflict happens. It happens between family members, friends, classmates, teammates, and even between strangers. Conflicts are a normal part of life. They happen because we are all different and we see and react to situations and events in different ways. Conflict only becomes a problem when it is not resolved or managed effectively. Let's look at how a conflict unfolds and strategies for resolving conflicts effectively. First, all conflicts start with a relationship. The closer the relationship, the more potential for conflict. Next, an event occurs. Conflict begins when a trigger or event happens that is inconsistent with the way the relationship is. Following an event is an emotional response, which is an internal response triggered by the event, or in other words, how it made you feel. All emotions are natural and acceptable. It is at the next step in the cycle that conflict can become a problem. That step is where an assumption occurs. An assumption occurs when you try to figure out the reason that the event occurred without knowing the facts. The problem with an assumption is that it is based on limited information. Our interpretation of an event may be very different from the other person's interpretation. The next problem in conflict happens when a person reacts according to his or her assumptions, when the assumptions may not even be true. Reacting without knowing the facts can lead to more conflict. How a person reacts to the events leads to the next step in the cycle, the outcome. The outcome is the result of your reaction. The outcome changes the relationship, bringing people closer or separating them further. Since most problems in relationships occur between the assumption and the reaction, let's take a look at some strategies for resolving conflicts effectively. First, it is important to identify the emotion. Ask yourself, what are you feeling? Are you sad, upset, angry? Remind yourself that all emotions are natural and okay. But before you react based on your emotion, pause and get the facts. Stop and remind yourself that your assumptions are feelings and aren't necessarily based on facts. Tell the person how you are feeling and ask questions to help you better understand the situation from the other person's perspective. Next, choose a response that is right for you based on your understanding of the other person's perspective. Consider how your response will affect the outcome and the relationship. Can you resolve the conflict in a way that brings you closer together? Even if it's not a relationship that you want to grow closer, you can choose to respond in a way that will result in a more neutral outcome. Remember, conflict is a part of life, but by learning how to identify our internal reactions and control our external reactions, we can improve our ability to resolve a conflict.